વિડીયો પતાવી દઉં પછી કહીશ. Okay, so today is December 15th, Wednesday, and today is what? FOMC day, right? So let's start with the pre-market notes. Okay. So today is all about FOMC, right? So we know the move is going to happen today, but which way, that was the question, right? But what we do know from yesterday, that 46 on day before yesterday, so this is what the statement, typical statement for FOMC. You know, every FOMC you will see this kind of statement. Now 46, 55, 61 is the area for yesterday's sellers to defend. Above that area, most buyers will be active or will become active, and below that area, sellers are still active from yesterday in general. However, buyers did defend 4600 and kept price above 45, 85, 80 area in general. So past buyers are going to be active from these areas. Below all these levels, more sellers will be active, you know, and above all these levels, more buyers will be active, right? So basically 4600 to 4661 is the range. Above that entire range, buyers; below that entire range, sellers; in between, neutral territory, and we have to be very careful in our trade execution or entry, right? Now FOMC will become the culprit. That was the case today, right? I love my 20s, so that 20 is also important, which is 4620 area. Keep in mind that another set of sellers in ES is around 78, 80. Now that area is also taken out, right? Because the moment this area is taken out, most likely it's a news driven move, it may take out this area. Okay, so NQ has the sellers in it below 345 and 160. So NQ took out 160 today and 240, which I told you in Discord. So now NQ has the buyers above these areas, right? For day trading, yesterday's sellers are active below 998, 16,005, and yesterday's buyers are active from 735 and 7. So yesterday's buyers are active from 735, 750 in NQ. Sorry, I got a phone call in between, so I had to pause the video. So I just picked up the link where I left off. And 882, 850 are another buyer's area from yesterday, right? So NQ is basically locked between 16,005 to this range, you know. So this is the range you have to consider, right? So buyers are here, sellers are here. The moment NQ goes above this, right, buyers will become more active, you know. That is what we discussed in the Discord also in the morning, you know, and for ES also same thing. Russell is still a garbage, you know. So Russell, what we discuss in Discord is either 47, 58, 34, 37 area may provide an opportunity, and that area will decide after FOMC, you know, so or from FOMC onwards. So basically I would say 34 area decided, and then 58 provided a pause, but eventually price went higher. Okay, Dow, this is the area, right, and this area held it pretty much. Price went below it but couldn't hold it above it, and the move started from here, and then Dow went higher, right? So this is the line inside in Dow, you know. Above Dow has a buyers has full control, and it was the case since in Dow, you know, since last 1 week. Crude is again damn thing bounced from 45, right? So this area, so as I said here, it pulled back to the top of this range, right? So now it's do or die. So crude basically held above this area, and now it was able to push back, you know, above 70-60 today, right? And it went all the way up to this area, right? So it is, so the moment it goes above this area now, you know, tomorrow, let's say, crude is against favoring buyers, you know. It went back into the recent range, so technically this is the range now, right? But still I would say buyers are in control above this area and from this area, you know. So stick with longs in crude, you know, favor longs in this chop. And so now let's go to the today's chart, right? So it's a nice looking chart now, right? So we are out of the range. So now morning, right? So as I said during FOMC, I only advise to take first trade, only one trade before FOMC, and then take another trade during FOMC, you know. So that's the game plan. So of the open, it was an open drive down, right? So price actually started from right here, this line, right? This resistance line. So it started from here, it went down, went to this level, right? So in Discord, so now I'm not going to explain here all the scenarios, you know, but what we discuss in Discord at high level in the pre-market voice. So basically I give them levels, you know, to subscribers, all these levels, and I explain basically each and every level with comments, you know. So for example, hold on, just a second. So in the pre-market notes, right, so I have, so these are the levels, you know. So I give them labels like this with description and everything else, and buyers level, sellers level, all the way. So I have a levels all the way up to 2100 in ES, you know, all the way down. So I have all the listed levels all the way up to 5000, let's say, put it this way, ES 5000 to 2000, let's say. I have up to 1900, I have all the levels, you know, and I adjust them based on the day's price action. Sometimes let's say price moves 100 points in a day, right? So I have to go back and update all the 100 levels, you know, based on whatever I read in the market. So what we discuss in the pre-market here at each level, so I told them, so what we discuss basically is we discuss the scenarios, right? What could happen, what can happen after the open, or where it can open. So the idea was it may open around 29, this area, and then couple of things can happen, right? Up and down. So if it goes here, what are the possibilities that it can hold there, you know, how it goes there. If it comes here of the open, what are the things we should look for, you know, in terms of internals and all these things. Then based on that we can either choose to skip it or take a long here, or either here we can choose to skip it or take a short, you know, since it's a bold area, right? So if it goes through these areas, if it comes down here, then what to look for, you know. Those are the scenarios we discuss in Discord. So going long at 20 was one of the scenario based on only if there is a bullish disconnect or something like that available, but here that was not the case, right? So we skipped it. Then price went to this bold area, right? Now since it was able to go down below Globex low and break down, it doesn't make sense, you know, to go long right into this bold support at the first test. So usually we wait for a pause, you know. This was a pause. So then you can go long at 10, right? And then you can target 20, and then you can bail out, right? That's the one case scenario, one thing you can do. So I think couple of guys also took the long from either 10 or 12 here, and they bailed out at 20, right? I did not take a long since it was a breakdown, price was going down, internals were down. I rather look for short for that one trade than look for longs, you know. So I waited it and I gave that trade in Discord before it happens. So I said I'm looking to short, or I said 20 to 22 area, sellers are active, you rather look for shorts, you know, and that is the area that I am interested in. NQ I gave them 910, which is this area to the dot, you know, 910, that's the level I gave, and price was here and ES was here, right? So I patiently waited. When price came here, I shorted at 22. I took a short at NQ at 909, right here, close to 910, above this VWAP also, right? So that was a risk. There was a 60% chance it will hold. 40% it cannot, it won't hold. Why? Because price had a time to balance here, and it was coming from the bull support, right? So those were the reasons, but still I took that short with 60% probability, you know. And then my target was 12 area, this area, and for NQ my target was 860, I think 867, yeah, 867, 850 area, you know. So that was the trade I took it, you know, 43 points in NQ and 6 point 8 point I bailed out at 16 because NQ went to 867, at 65. So I bailed out both of them together. So 8 points in ES and 43 points in NQ, and I was done for the day because I only do one trade, right? After that, I did not even bother to look at this price. I told the subscriber in Discord the same thing. Do not bother to trade this thing. Now come back after 2 p.m. And that is what the plan was, right? So we came back at 2 p.m. right? And then right at 155, right here, I told in Discord that during FOMC, observe 0650 in ES and NQ 735, 750. So, and then damn thing. So I had a order sitting at 0650 here and 750 in NQ. But that was a sim, because during FOMC I can't take a risk. I'm just practicing those kind of thing, like how to base trade FOMC from the bottom or top. So, but you have to come up with the levels now, right? But since I'm experimenting with it, after FOMC news I can trade it, right? But how can you guess the level in advance, the FOMC top or bottom? That is the key, right? And it's hard to do those kind of things. So I'm experimenting with it. So I said 0650 and 750 to observe, 750, 735 during FOMC, right, at 155. So based on that thing, I put an order at 155 at 0650 and 750 here, and then during FOMC the drop came there, right there, and filled me in both of these things, and then it bounced, right? So at that time I said my target is 29 in ES, and that's where I will bail out my sim. So I did that, and NQ also I did bail out together. But at least that activity told me that now buyers are in control, because it was able to go to 29 and actually went through it. NQ, same thing, So now buyers are in control, right? So we don't want to short, because if it's able to come there, it can easily go through these levels, right? So now we are waiting for a pullback, right? So when ES got here, and NQ went here, I said in Discord that now it is ready to do pullback. So then it did damn thing pullback, right? So I was able to pick up the tops here, both of this top, right? But then the question was how far it can pull back, right? Because people are waiting to go long. So the question was how far, right? So in ES, 38 could be possibility, 32, 31, 50, or this 20 area, 23, 24, 22, right? So we were watching in live. Some of the subscribers even were eager to go long at 38.50. I said, wait, don't go long. Wait. When finally price came, so we avoided 31, 38.50, 32 even we avoided. When it came to 20, close to this area, then I said, you know what? Now you can go long with 2.3 point stop below this area, So basically rely on this CVWare, close to it. That is the time to go long. And NQ I said 880. So it came to it, actually not 880, 890 is the level I gave. So it came to 890. That was the time to push the button, which is this. See? So I put a different arrow here because it was my sim, right? I put a different arrow here also because it was against this open drive down, right? So, but this was a valid arrow because it was a valid trade going with the internals, and morning open drive sellers, right? So that's why it's a different arrow, right? But here it was a valid arrow. That was a valid long, right? Then price went higher, right? So at 47, I said you can scale it and then move your stop up to break even. So 47 price held it and then it came down, right? At 38.50, here I said now it's time to go long again with a stop at 37, and then when price went to 47 again, I moved my stop to 38.50 because now it was balancing here, right? I didn't want to take a chance, right? So 37 was the stop. You can choose to move 38.50 break even, or you can leave it at 37. Up to you, however you want to do it. If you moved it to 37, 38.50, you got stopped out by 1.5 point, and then price went higher, right? Then you have to relong again at the breakout point here, right? If you held it with 37 stop, then you got lucky. What we discuss here, when it gets to 55, it may not hold, so it did not. And then above this, buyers are in full control, and then you can go with the flow if you want to. I usually don't like to go with the flow, so I did not trade these things move, but when you're waiting, this 78 broken support, resistance turned into support, it was a good long also later in the day, but so overall now the price went higher, right? NQ 240 was the key, so it went above it, pulled back, and then went higher, right? So now it is confirming that buyers are everywhere, they are in control, right? So but these were the trades, possible trades, which I took both of them actually, right? And actually I took this one also. So now the question is tomorrow, right? Tomorrow you want to see price holding above all these lines, simple. All of this line you want to see price holding above all of them. That is the best option and preferred option. But what if it comes down, right? If it comes down, it has to hold above 47.53. That's absolute line in sand that buyers need to hold above. NQ maybe 240. I want the best thing is 240 above, or the backup is 180. That's it. Anything else below, it is a risk, open risk for buyers. Not too much risk, but I would say open risk, for both of them. And that be all for today.